The college football experience, bowl games, and college football playoff round 2 look ahead episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN. You get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet's a brand new sports book available in 45 different states. Download Rebet in the App Store and use the promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome to the college football experience. Bowl game bonanza. College football playoff round 2 look ahead. YouTube.com/the college experience. As we inch closer and closer to 15K, we need you to hit that like and subscribe button. Because if not that, we might be doing a show at some dive bar down there in Tijuana. All right. Patty C's been telling us about these donkey shows.
Don't threaten me with a good time, buddy. Come on.
A couple of these playoff games were donkey shows.
Look, youtube.com/the college experience. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swiggin, Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Oh, look at that shirt this guy's wearing over there. Gotta love it.
Big Nick energy.
Big Nick energy. We got a slew of bowl games, some classic bowl games, some made-up bowl games, and we got this 14 bullshit. This 12-team thing that now you saw how great it was on campus. Now let's play it in a bunch of these bullshit arenas. And you got the FCS National Championship. I'm excited about it. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Up.
Let's go. Let's go.
Slamming buzzball. Talking football. That's what TCE does.
Yes, that is what TCE does. We are also joined by third man in the boot, the DFS god himself. I feel like we got tagged in like 10 great things DFS-wise this past week. Hopefully you caught our DFS episode. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, home brew making, tobacco road living, the free lot giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's going on, guys?
Where's your song? I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked here. I don't know. Let's just play. Yeah.
He felt like shit afterwards. Everybody booing the shit out of me, but he worked his ass off.
That was our ATS picks this past weekend, huh?
My number one lock was Ohio State minus the points. So I mean, I feel like, you know what though? Nick, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to our episode last night, but
a little bit of it. The first half hour.
That was my fault. This is all my fault. This is obvious. And I think moving forward, it's going to continue to be like this. I'm still happy with it. I think it's better than way better. Like not even close to better than what do we get? We got 10 years of the 14 playoff. The average win was what, 17.6 points per game, right? Something like that. 17.4, 17.6, something like that. This past week was 19. Not a big deal, but you get to see the games on campus in the elements, in what they're supposed to. Who gives a fuck? And that's just a 4-game sample.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I don't think we need to make any sweeping conclusions about the history and how the 12-team playoff is going to be each and every year, But what I think is, I think they kind of applied the NFL logic of an extra 3 points, roughly or so, to the home teams. Because I think if you look at most of the spreads, subtract by 3, I think that's kind of where the spread should be. But I think in college football and a playoff environment, considering there's never been home playoff games, I think the spread should have been, or the bump up should have been more than 3. It should have been more like 5 or 6 or something,
Not only, I think there's several examples of that. Like whether not only the home environments, you're talking also about teams that never come up north. In the NFL, it happens a lot more frequently. And another thing is, the NFL plays at these puny little stadiums.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I was giving Green a hard time because he was talking about that. And I go, kind of environments like that. And he's like, "Oh, you had the link," and I go, "What is that? 66,000? That bullshit out of here." What is that? Is that Tarleton State? Right? What, like you get all of those stadiums are just massive home environments. I mean, shit. I feel like 2 of those ones were like 35,000 more than what the link has.
Well, that and the fact that we never see teams from the South playing up north in December. We never ever see that.
No,
right.
I mean, we never see it in October. We never see it in October, November, December, and we rarely see it in September.
I got a buddy that went to Ohio State, moved down here a couple years ago. So the first time we went to NC State game, he's like, "Dude, where's the other half of your stadium?" I was like, "Dick." I was like, "Come on, man." It's like
yeah,
for JMU, like that's a real question. We only have like a half a stadium.
Yeah, you're aren't you? Isn't that coming? I thought I read that it was coming.
They keep teasing it, but
yeah,
we'll see. One day.
Shout out to R. Wright giving us $20 while he says he's watching us in a poker tournament at the same time. Well, or is that, or are you just watching Patty C's screen? With the sunglasses, you look like a poker player right now.
Is that Phil Hellmuth over there?
That joke's went over your head. Shout out to Rob Donaldson too. If you're bitching about the significant college football campus site games and want less of them, who cares what you think? Yeah, that's my thing. My one bitch would be this. We should have had a game between the hedges. We should have had a game in Boise, Idaho on the Smurf turf. We should have had a game at legendary Sun Devil Stadium. And we should have had a game at Autzen. That would complete it. But
great venues across the board. I do find one of the ironic things that they want, if Texas got the bye, they're like the 3 seed in the college football playoff standings, then we wouldn't have such terrible matchups. And instead we'd have 5 versus 12. Okay. Well, we got 3 versus 12 and it was one of the best games of the day. Like that, the games between the teams that were really close, 8 and 9 and 7 and 10 were blowouts. Even 6-11 was a blowout, but the 7-12 was, or the 3-12 was the closest game of the day. So I don't think that reseeding necessarily is going to result in closer matchups. I think that what made that matchup close was that a team from the South was playing another team from the South, and lo and behold, and the other matchup that was close from a point standpoint at the end was a team from the North playing a team from the North. When you are wildly out of your environment, yeah, you're going to get blown out probably more likely.
All the time. And they're already pushing this narrative that the seeding wasn't correct. I think it's too early to say that, because if Boise State beats Penn State, if Arizona State beats Texas, if those are the 2 ones I feel like that they said. Those
that
2.
throws a monkey wrench in it. The argument ends right there.
Yeah. So where we're going.
I think people that say that 12 is too much, I think they had a nice little day, because, and honestly, they might be right in some regard, because I think there's probably only in any given year, there's probably only like 6 to 8 teams who could really win the national championship. So 9 through 12, do they have a shot at winning 3 in a row and winning the national championship? Sure. Will that ever happen? Probably at some point, but they're probably thinking that, why did we expand so far if these teams can't even compete with,
See, I think that's a lazy take because they didn't have home games before.
Yeah.
I think the home element, I asked this on last night's show. I think if you reverse all the games, the only one that I think Tennessee would have probably beat Ohio State if it's at Tennessee, right?
Kind of hard to argue that right now, but
of course it is. But college sports, that's to me like the home. I think there's nothing bigger than the home. I think SMU would beat Penn State if that was played in Dallas, right?
Also hard to argue, but
of course it's hard to argue because they went up to 10 degrees, which they haven't played in ever in their fucking life.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't like, to me, the numbers, like I was telling Patty C, I ran these numbers in 2020 of how many teams went on the road against teams just with a winning record. And it was like, I want to say it was like 83.9% chance you lose. Right. And that was just like, if you're 6-6 or 7-5, 8-4. So now if you ran that number, I would love to know, I should, if I had more time, I would do it over the years. If you play like a 9-3 or 10-2 team, what that record would be on the road. So,
well, and I'll also say, and you pointed this out as well, Colby, last night, that with the talent spreading out, that narrative or that thought, which I think most of the population has probably had, that only a few teams are really capable of winning the championship. I mean, when you think about it right now, Alabama was 13. Ole Miss was what, 14 or 15? They both beat Georgia, right? Ole Miss whooped them, right? And Alabama was up 28 or 23 points on Georgia. And
28. They're up 28-0.
Yeah, they're the number 2 team in the country. So these teams clearly have that ceiling, and that's what a lot of, I think, SEC folks argue for, is we want to see the teams with the ceiling get in there. And so, and Colby, I agree with your expansion line there. It's like, get them in the playoff, expand the playoff and get them in too. If they have that capability in a single game environment, which is what the basis of, the argument for them being in the playoff is, then put them in. Let's see if they can do it.
I would just love to know where your line draws then, Nick. Is it Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, and then that's it? Is second tier?
Well, first off, I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that take. I'm saying those who do agree with it, they had a nice day where they can stick their chest out and say, see, those teams 9-12, they can't compete.
But of course, on the road, I feel like,
yeah.
I feel like Georgia got whooped at Ole Miss. You know what I mean? Like you could almost go for every single team. I think Oregon would be the only one that wouldn't qualify. Ohio State lost at Oregon. Yeah,
that's why a couple games coming up, the Boise game and the Arizona State game specifically, because they were kind of lumped into the same group as SMU and Indiana.
Well, where did they finish in the final college football playoff standings? I want to say Arizona State was like 12. Right.
Yeah.
And I think Boise was like 9. So if you're trying to say teams 9 through 12 in the standings, or the teams you think are the 9th and 12th best teams in the country can't compete, and then they do in the next round, then that argument goes out the window.
That's
at a neutral site, let alone having to go on the road.
I was about to say, so where's Ole Miss ranked?
They were just outside, right?
13 or 14, I think. Yeah.
So we have a data point that Georgia, who had a bye, got their ass whooped at the 13th ranked team. Right?
Yeah.
Got their ass whooped.
But I think most of these people would say that Alabama, I think there's that bias towards the non-traditional powerhouse, and that's what it is. Part of it is just bias. Part of it, I guess, is, overall talent level. They might think Ole Miss could win 3 games in a row. But they might think that, maybe a non-traditional powerhouse might be able to get up and win 1, but can they win 3 tough games in a row? Hey, look, that's why it's awesome that we're seeing a larger playoff. These teams now have chances. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. But that home field advantage is something that everyone just woke up to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a lazy take then. It's like, we shouldn't have expanded that much. I'm like, dude, if you could have played this in the 4 team, and in my opinion, if you did the 4 team with home field, you'd never see an upset.
Yeah. And also,
years. Yeah.
And my argument is that, then you don't have to watch the first round of playoff games. If you don't like the playoff expanding, then just don't watch the first round. and then don't watch the second round. Wait until there's 4. And then there you go. Are you happy then?
They'll probably ruin the regular season.
That was proved very false this year. I mean, where this year did the regular season be diminished because of the larger playoff?
It's actually, I actually think it's stronger because if you get home field and you have to go into those environments.
Yeah. Mountain West Championship viewership like tripled, because all of a sudden it's a relevant game. That's what we highlighted all along. Those were the games that were going to become much more relevant, and the numbers kind of back it up. So,
well, that was the first playoff game, and then the second playoff game. Well, I guess Clemson SMU technically wasn't. It almost was, but the first playoff game was the Mountain West Championship game because the winner was probably going to get in, the loser was going home.
True.
Shout out to Taylor Druckenmiller. Hopefully related to Jim. Best pod around on Christmas break, so I can't catch the live streams. Got to say, more teams will be willing to spend more money going forward, seeing the opportunity SMU and Indiana got. It's great for college football. That's what I'm saying. I was making that point to Patty last night, that you can't look at it with the old models, the old days,
or even the current model.
Yeah,
because it's going to change.
But even with this, like in 3 years here, you've had the transfer portal go batshit crazy. Now you have unlimited transfer. Before it was just a one-time transfer and it was going crazy, but now you can transfer whenever the fuck you want, right? You have that now. That's not changing, right? You have NIL, which hasn't been legal that long, 2 years, right? And then you have crazy conference realignment, and then you have the 12-team playoff. So, like, I think any bozo comparing something to like 15 years ago or 10 years ago, it's just not the same.
True.
USC and Texas Tech had quarterback rooms. Like Texas Tech in one of those years with Kingsbury had what? It was Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, and the guy who played Davis Webb played for the Giants, right? And Cal. But I know those ones actually ended up transferring later. But I'm saying USC was Sanchez, Leinart, and what's the Patriot quarterback that played after Brady?
Castle.
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. Like those days of having that loaded of those guys are gone now.
Or more recently, Alabama with Tua, Hurts, and Mac Jones. Those dudes aren't sitting on the bench anymore.
Like Arch Manning's like the only example you could say of like someone that could be starting elsewhere. That's just I'm riding this out. You saw it with Georgia. Georgia, their backup went to start at Kentucky. You saw it everywhere, really everywhere. I mean, so that's just one
Bama
position.
Lost Julian Sand at Ohio State. Ohio State's going to lose Aaron Nolan to who knows Miami maybe. So you good luck having 2, let alone 3 elite quarterbacks.
And that's just the quarterback.
Position. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we use that because it's the easiest one to pinpoint with name recognition. But every single position, this is happening. So it's a totally different game. Before we jump into these bowl games starting tomorrow. North Carolina hired Steve Belichick today, Nick.
Is that official? I mean, we all knew it was coming.
Yeah. Are you, as a Duke fan, are you shaking in your boots a little bit there?
No, not really. I mean, I give UNC credit for pumping more resources towards football, but we've talked about this for the last couple of weeks. Like, I don't think it's a great hire. I think with the additional resources, I think he can basically do what Mac Brown was doing and win 8 games a year. But I know you picked him to make it a college football playoff one year. I don't think so. But of course, I am just a hater, So,
dude, if they spend the 4th most in public universities, which on average would be that.
Well, how much did Miami spend this year? Of course, Miami was damn close.
They were one fucking game away. You know what I mean?
How much did LSU spend this year? Who's the team that spent the most and didn't make it? I mean,
it's Miami, I think.
But wasn't like
I'm
close
sure LSU probably spent a lot.
Yeah, spent a lot and wasn't close. Like lost like 4 or 5 games. Is there a team that like stands out where like they spent a ton but weren't even close?
I mean, LSU and A&M both lost 4.
Both 8 and 4. That's probably the 2 biggest examples.
Yeah. Trying to think who else would be in that.
I don't know how much they spent.
I don't think they spent as much as the other 2.
All
Yeah,
right, so I guess if you spend a
those
lot,
two. you're
going to be damn close to making the playoff at the minimum. Okay, so maybe you're right.
But North
Well, I mean,
Carolina, have they ever done it? They got 1 or 2 good years under Matt Campbell.
Had SMU ever done it until this year?
In the 80s, yeah.
When they cheated.
Yeah, that's
all
true.
in. Yeah.
That's true. Good point.
I was going to pose this question to Tennessee fans. Are they happy that they made the first college football 12-team playoff, or would they have rather that started like next year and they just went to like the Gator Bowl this year or something? Like, do you hang your hat on making it, or after that performance, you just wish it never happened?
I think you hang your hat on making it because you buy into saying next year we need to be hosting a playoff game. All right. Yeah. We should be hosting. We got our NIL collective in order. We're one of the strongest NIL collectives. We should be hosting a playoff game next year. So
and karma is a bitch because, you know, as soon as Indiana lost and SMU is losing big, all the SEC fans are coming out. Lane Kiffin is so active on Twitter. Funny, I don't think Lane Kiffin sent a tweet about the committee after Tennessee looked the worst out of all 4 teams. The worst out of all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the worst thing about all this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick or Pat, though, you know, we've been watching the game for so long, is it's almost like CNN, Fox News now. It's like you
propaganda machine.
Yeah. It's fucking like, I didn't see that coming into the sport. 20
you guys
years
said
ago.
That thing. You said Kirk Herbstreit said we have to pay less attention to wins, and it shouldn't be about most deserving. It should be about picking the best teams. I was like, it's not about most deserving. Then why the fuck are we playing the games? Yeah,
well, and then he like just throwing Indiana under the bus, and then when it comes to Tennessee, he just gives him a pass. Well, you know,
right.
Yeah, the best team is a stance that, you know, I agree with you, Nick, and I disagree with that stance. I think at the end of the day, most deserving, and yes, that is subjective, and that takes some analysis and some guesswork. But I think to me that's a better metric than someone deciding that one team is better than the other just because they have more talent or their perception of them. You go with the resume. You go with like the harder the facts, the better. And that's why conference championships are great. It's like that's a hard and fast, like you earned it kind of. I actually think they should write this in. Like if you're 11-1 in the Power 5, you are in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, we already had an SEC championship game. We already have a winner of that conference. I want the college football playoff to be across the nation, across the country. Bring in all the conferences, and that way you have a true national champion. We already have an SEC champion, so I don't want 10 out of 12 teams to be from the SEC or the Big Ten or any conference.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. So just the fact that he said, you know, wins don't matter. Don't pay attention to wins.
That's the most annoying to me, though. Is like they used to cover it from an honest, or at least they would give the impression that it was from like an honest take, like of like they're a college football analyst. Now I'm just saying, like, no, you're an SEC analyst. That's exactly what you. I can't tell the difference. You're less obnoxious than Peter Burns, but you're very fucking similar. You know. I mean, anyway.
Herb Street. I have always had a love-hate relationship with Herb Street. He's on College Game Day. He's hanging out with those knuckleheads, having fun. I think he fits in with those guys. I think he might be a cool dude to hang out with, but he is so bought and sold when the moment comes down to it that it's like, and now it's super obvious. Last night put it on display more than ever, you know? So
yeah,
he's a shill.
Staying in the great state of North Carolina, NC Nick, Dave Clawson steps down. And Jake Dickert leaves Washington State for Wake Forest. Whoa! Sorry about that. Where the hell's my Holtz?
Well, I don't get the brain man cold, but they're counting down.
I'm just a bit puzzled here. I get it. The ACC is still a conference, but I just wonder how long. And then I'm like, wait a second. You've had like the first pick in the NFL draft, like Drew Bledsoe. You've had, you know, Gardner Minshew recently started this season, I believe. You've had just a track record of great players in the NFL. You know, Chris Ivory was a good running back for the Jets for a little bit. You had James Hasty, Marcus Trufant.
John Mateer is the number one player in the portal.
Like, you had Cam Ward a year ago.
You're not able to get right.
And I was just taken back by him taking the job, because I thought you have a much easier path to the playoffs in the new Pac-12. And then B, what he said, he goes, I was surrounded, you're up there, you're surrounded by Canada and Idaho. You don't have the talent down here in the Carolinas. I'm like, well, that's true, but none of those guys go to Wake Forest.
Yeah, there's more competition for the talent too.
Yeah, like I was pretty shocked at this move, because I thought they were like 2 games away from making the playoffs this year, and 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, the fact that it's cross country, the fact that the Wake Forest, the coach before him, is basically stepping down because he can't compete in the current landscape of college football. So unless Wake Forest somehow convinced him that they're going to throw additional resources to the program too, maybe that happened. I don't know. I don't know what kind of situation Wake Forest is in to be able to do that, but it was a good hire. But yeah, I am surprised by the move.
I'm shocked by the move. Like I think that's the most that's more shocking than Belichick. It's more shocking than Belichick to me. It was like, what?
Yeah, that is a move down from a program prestige and just straight up quality standpoint. But I would say it does make sense if you consider that the Pac-12. I mean, they got paid out pretty well by all the teams leaving, and them being able to retain the Pac-12 money for the 2 years, or the media rights for 2 years, them splitting it with Oregon State. But then I think I read they're going to get like $15 million a year payout in the Pac-12. That's potentially looking like the deal that they might land with, which is significantly lower. The ACC sitting at what, like 40, 30, 30, 40, 36, 40, something like that.
But you got to wonder, if the ACC crumbles, Wake Forest is going to be in the Conference USA. So
I think that whole crumbling thing is not going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, well, how about this one? Boise State's in the fucking playoffs right now. They're in the Pac-12 next year. There's no reason Washington State can't be Boise State.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I don't get it either. I think it's a terrible move.
Can Wake Forest be SMU?
No. No.
I mean, probably not. They're probably not. I don't think they have it as deep as pockets. I don't think they care as much about football. But
Wake Forest can be Rice.
they might just be Rice if they don't watch out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Winston-Salem doesn't have Dallas level talent laying around either.
I don't see George Bush sitting there making calls on Wake Forest. Who the fuck's making calls for Wake Forest? I have no idea. Whoever Grove Stadium. Who's Groves?
I don't know.
Who's Groves?
I mean, the last prominent politician from North Carolina on a national level was the guy from UNC. Oh shit, I just escaped his name. He had the scandal. His wife had cancer. John Edwards. Is that his name?
Okay.
Yeah.
He was sleeping around on his wife who was like dying of cancer and stuff.
Anyway. Man. John Edwards was in that rant by the rogue helicopter pilot.
David Thompson. Yes. We're talking about
bag of New York.
I want this pilot. It's a matter of national security.
He does throw John Edwards in there.
Yeah, John Edwards knows about it. Sue Myron knows about it. He's a goofball.
Thompson, YouTube.com, type in David Thompson, and you should like and subscribe to whatever content he's done on planet Earth. Yeah. All right. So Washington State's got an opening position. You also saw Jacksonville State hired Charles Kelly. I know some people might be saying, who? Who?
The fuck is that?
Charles Kelly though was at Auburn this past year. It's DC, I believe. He was at Colorado the year 1, and prior to that, he was with Saban at Alabama. Your thoughts on Charles Kelly, longtime assistant, getting the head gig at Jacksonville State? NC Nick.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we've seen some of these like Saban, some of the Saban tree guys not succeed, but some of them have done pretty
well. Charles Huff has done well.
Yeah.
Although it depends who you ask, because Marshall was like, "Please get the fuck out of here." But give us that championship. Give us that championship on the way out the door.
But honestly, I don't know much about this dude, so I don't think I've ever heard of him before. So I mean, your guess is as good as mine. What do you think, Patty C?
His coaching background is really long. It doesn't look like he spent more than 3 years, maybe even 3 years, I think, in one place dating back to 1990. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's not uncommon anymore.
I mean, to move that much though, that's like, I'd honestly have to sit here and count, but it looks like he's had 20 jobs in the last 35 years. So
I wonder what his connection is to Jacksonville State, if any.
I just think he was at Alabama, probably.
Close enough.
Yeah.
He actually was a defensive backs coach there, a running backs coach there in 94 through the 98. He was the defensive coordinator in 98 there. So
that's a while ago.
Yeah, that's quite a while ago. Yeah, I don't know. They got to get someone.
Yeah. But anyway, had to touch on that. Folks, want to tell you that College Football Experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Pick'em is one of the biggest menus for all the sports. You can win up to 1,000 times the amount of money you enter with Underdog Streaks. Underdog's making it easier to win with profit boosts and giving pick'ems. There's college football, college hoops, NASCAR, MMA, NBA, NHL, MLB, NFL, everything really. You can now use specials and boost on all flex entries as well. So sign up, and when you do sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet's a brand new social sports book available in 45 different states. There are plenty of betting opportunities available on Rebet. It's easy to use and absolutely fantastic if you live in one of these states behind the times where you can't. It's not legal to bet yet. There's always the California, yeah, Texas, South Carolina. All right, goddamn Gavin Newsom sitting up there telling everyone to wear a mask while he's got a goddamn dinner with 700 people. All right. He's really the villain in Batman when you think about it. Anyway, download Rebet in the App Store. Use the promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. That's Rebet, promo code SGPN. This guy's trying to ban tackle football. You know what I mean? He's the mayor in Batman, not obviously not the main villain. That's Joker and everyone else, but the mayor. You know, the scumbag mayor on the take. Yeah,
Two-Face, Harvey.
Yeah, whatever the fuck his name is, Lee Harvey Oswald. Let's just call it that.
Harvey Dent. I think
Harvey Dent. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know if you saw this one real quick.
What's that?
Rod Smith, I think, got hired as the Marshall OC to go along with Tony Gibson as the head coach. Rod Smith was Rich Rod's offensive coordinator. So little in-state, recruiting battles potentially there.
Interesting.
I like it. I like it. I'm sure they'll fire him after a championship season too.
That's right.
You didn't mention anything about Jason Eck. I know you guys are probably big on that hire, right?
Oh, I love that hire. Jason Eck, former Wisconsin Badger offensive lineman under Barry Alvarez back in the 90s. And he was the head coach of Idaho. And really he came in there and really took Idaho to the next plateau. And they were really good over the past few years. Had it not been for a couple key injuries, I think they would have gone a lot further in the FCS playoffs. They last year they lost their quarterback for the season. This year
they ran into Montana State this year, right?
This year, yeah.
So yeah, me and Colby might have been 1-3 ATS in FBS playoffs, but we were both 2-0 FCS. So 3-3 on the weekend,
and
not the end of the world.
The totals, I'm a totals guy.
That's
kind of
right.
Killed it on the totals. 3-1 on the totals.
A couple props. I hit that Travion Henderson receiving yardage ladder. So all in all, it certainly wasn't a great betting weekend, but wasn't too bad.
I know I didn't have Susquehanna losing 66-0 to North Central.
I think I picked North Central.
I mean, I took North Central. I didn't lay the 66.
Yeah.
But let's get to this action. Tomorrow morning, we talked about this game on a previous episode, but the line has changed so much.
It spiked up, hasn't it?
So much. I like to think we moved this line ourselves, guys. How the hell do I do this again? Patty? What happened to Patty?
Am I still here?
Why do they always fuck with me here, dude?
Every time it takes a second.
No, I don't see it at all right now.
Just take over. Put yourself on the screen. There we go. Nice work.
This takes a second.
This was at like 6.5 before?
That's either 6 or 7 or so. Yeah.
At 11 now, UTSA on the teal turf, first ever matchup. NC Nick, is it too late to gas up the old car and head down to good old Myrtle Beach?
Unfortunately, it is, but I'm not scared. I'm gonna ride. I'm gonna keep on riding UTSA here. I think they win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Are we at all concerned? Can we do a Myrtle Beach weather check?
I don't think they're calling for anything.
I'm just saying there's a dome team from San Antonio, little pussy team. You know what I mean?
What is it going to be, like 50 degrees or something?
Let's see. What day is it? That's
tomorrow.
Okay. Myrtle Beach weather. 36 right now.
It's going to be 50, high of 50 degrees.
High of 50. It's kind of chilly for those boys.
Little dome team. I don't think they'll be able to handle this. No,
They'll be equally impacted by it. So that's the thing.
I'm on UTSA. There's too many guys out for Coastal Carolina. Counting on a third string quarterback is just very hard to do. And Coastal's kind of been shitty all year. Although did storm the field at App. That was great. But
it's actually kind of hilarious looking at the DFS slate for tomorrow because of the two games, this game and Northern Illinois Fresno State, like every player in DK is like doubtful, questionable. It's like, who the hell's playing? Like, good luck.
Yeah.
Who is I mean, Vasco, I'm guessing, is gone.
Both Kim and Vasco are gone.
Yeah. And so it's what, Jamison Tucker? Is that who they have? Yeah, he's got one attempt on the whole season.
No, he's a receiver.
Okay. Kyle. Oh, both of those dudes. ESPN doesn't. I don't think they have a dude that. I'm not looking at the depth chart, but
you're hold on. Are you ready for some more though? Because I'll say, Simeon Price, who has 131 snaps. Christian Washington, who's got about 300 snaps, gone. Starting tight end Kendall Carr, gone to the portal. Linebacker Clev Lubin is now at Auburn. Cornerback Matthew McDoom is now at Cincinnati with your boy Satterfield, Patty C. Defensive lineman Will Whitson, 182 snaps. He hasn't played in a few weeks. I don't know if that's injury or what, but there's a slew of other defensive backups. I'm not going to go through every goddamn player, but yeah, redshirt freshman Tad Hudson is the starter. He has 0 snaps on the season.
Woo. Now, I'm guessing McCown, though, is there for UTSA.
I got you. Don't worry. Eddie Lee Marburger, the backup, is in the portal.
Whoever gets him is going to find out that.
Hey, ECU, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, ECU. Actually, Coastal should get him. He fits at Coastal.
He should.
He should. They need a
Eddie
QB.
Lee Marburger is as likely to be a sniper as that should be his nickname, the sniper.
I like that. The sniper. Kavorian Barnes, who does play a little bit in the backfield, gone in the portal. Defensive end Ronald Triplett, who is pretty good, I think, and Jace Wilson and Joseph Evans declared for the NFL draft, and Denver Harris. They have injuries. Denver Harris
is transferred out every year.
He's not in the portal. He's injured. He's injured. As far as I know.
LSU and Auburn or something. He's at 2 SEC.
A&M and LSU. Yeah. Oscar Cardenas, their star tight ends, out for the year, and AAC defensive player Jamori Robinson is questionable.
Lay it, UTSA.
I'm laying it too. I just think that they have a better coach. Remember, Coastal got hired the wrong Tim Beck. They hired the wrong Tim Beck, and this is they don't want to go public with it because it's a bad look for the university.
After all the home field advantage we just hyped up, and here Coastal is hosting a home field bowl game.
It's gonna be empty.
Yeah, probably.
Kids aren't in school.
True. Lay it. I'm with you guys.
And then we get this classic that goes back to 1972. The best part about Coastal UTSA, they never played. So getting that out of the way. Northern Illinois, Fresno, and Boise, Idaho, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Sweet potatoes are dumped on the winning coach. Sweet potato fries, that is. Northern Illinois laying 3.5. Now, it was 3 when we called it last week, but I should touch base on this. Tim Skipper, former linebacker for Fresno. The players wanted him retained. They did not retain him. This is his final game. They did hire Matt Entz, the former North Dakota State head coach. Mikey Keene, those in the portal. He's gone. Star quarterback. Their star wideouts, Jalen Moss, portal. Other one, Raylan Sharp, is now at Arkansas. Defense, Malik Sherrod, also their star running back, hasn't played since week 5. Wide receiver Mac Delana declared for the NFL draft.
I think he's going to play, though, I heard.
Okay. Tim Greer, also another wideout, is in the portal. Now, defensively, their linebacker Phoenix Jackson is now at Colorado. Is at Baylor. And their defensive tackle, Gabriel Lightfoot, is now at Colorado. And about 5 other defensive guys gone. Also, cornerback Cam Lockridge declared for the NFL draft. Also, a thing to note is left guard Osmar Velez did not play in the season finale. He's on the depth chart, but it could be questionable. Then you look at Northern Illinois. Ethan Hampton is now, he went to Wake Forest for 2 days, and Dave Clawson resigned, and now he's back in the portal. I think he was visiting Tulane last I saw. He's gone. Travion Rudolph is also gone. Their star wideout, who's been there a while. Left guard JJ Lepe is gone as well. Then on the defensive side, they have a slew of guys. Defensive tackle Skylar Gill Howard is now at Texas Tech. Safety Santana Banner is now at Missouri. Nevaeh Sanders is now at Mississippi State, and cornerback Amarian Knighton is now at Indiana.
I hope we're not going to do this for every game, are we?
I don't know. I mean, there's a shit ton of guys out. Give me Fresno. They're playing for Skipper.
I took Northern Illinois. I mean, I see that angle, but the backup quarterbacks for Fresno only had like 2 or 3 attempts on the year. And that offense needs to pass the ball. I think Northern Illinois, they're a better running team. Go NIU.
Yeah.
Patty?
I think Keene is a pretty big loss, 70% completion percentage. It's not necessarily someone that's going to be able to step in and replicate that. Not to mention that Fresno is 6-6, granted some close losses, but so is Northern Illinois with a 7-5 with close losses. So I just think the bigger loss is at the hands of Fresno State. So give me Northern Illinois. 3.5. It's close, but
I think you took Fresno last week, so a half point difference. All the difference.
Okay.
Well,
it tells you
not in that favor though.
What deep convictions I have on this game.
I like Fresno at getting 3, not 3.5.
Now it's tricky. Now Vegas is just fucking with you, right? Next up, South Florida.
This is the game we all loved, right? San Jose State.
Yeah, but it crashed because Nick Nash announced he wasn't playing, and he leads the nation in receiving.
Still, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big blow. Don't get me wrong, but I think San Jose is going to be all right.
Yeah, and we don't know if Byron Brown's going to play this. I'm locking up San Jose State.
Yep.
In that old Hawaii triple lock. Let's go. Robert Martin says, Patty C had Fresno last week, according to my book. There you go.
Everyone's tracking my picks more than I am over here. I don't think I realized Mikey Keene was gone. I mean, he had declared December 3rd. So I should have known that, but I probably wasn't thinking about it. But there's also a decent chance I was drunk at the time. So
Fresno is quarterback you though. I think Nick's analysis, okay, Northern Illinois' backup. They don't have Ethan Hampton.
Yeah, but they don't need to pass the ball as much.
Have fun with that. Pittsburgh is heading into this bullshit Ford Field. This game sucks. Just play this somewhere else, dude. Play this at fucking Lambeau, and I'm interested. Ford Field, I got zero interest in this fucking game. Pitt's laying 6.5 against Toledo. Give me Toledo in the points. I have no. There's a bunch of guys out too. Let me just see. I have to do this a little bit here. Pitt's had 10 guys hit the portal, and Kenyatta Mumfield opted out, and same with Gavin Bartholomew. Toledo's got everybody though. I feel like Toledo's Larry Stevens hit the portal at the wide receiver spot, and left tackle Alan Jones is questionable. I got no idea. Give me Toledo in the points. They're close to Michigan. They're that's a quick drive to Detroit. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
I disagree. I think I'm going to go Pitt. I mean, I just don't think Toledo was all that good this year, and you could see the way they ended the year losing to Akron, in overtime, and
Akron's great.
Well, true, and I mean, it's not like Pitt ended the season good.
Don't you come at my boys, all right?
Pitt lost 5 in a row to end the season, but I think that's why they get up for this game to try to salvage that once promising season when they were 7-0. So give me Pitt.
Well, what is Holstein's status?
I think he's playing because the backup transferred out. Yarnell, is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay, because they were pretty darn good while he was at the helm, and then he hurt his hand, and like you said, 5 straight losses. Dude, it's not even a touchdown. Give me Pitt and lock it up.
Whew.
I agree. Toledo was not that good this year.
This guy destroyed the SEC in Mississippi State.
True. Very true.
Patty C locking up these Pitt Panthers. All right, moving along. Rutgers is heading to Phoenix. Play at this bullshit baseball stadium. Like, I like playing at baseball stadiums, just not these bullshit ones. What's that team out there again?
The Diamondbacks.
Yeah, you're playing at that bullshit stadium. Isn't there like a hot tub in like left field? I feel like there is. Rutgers is catching 7 against Kansas State Wildcats. Series goes back to 2006. Guaranteed rate is a guaranteed pile of shit right here. But give me Rutgers +7 because I think Kansas State's been kind of phony this year. I know Monangai is a questionable.
Dude, in general, it's so much harder this year to tell who's going to play or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like in years past, at least like they made the announcements, so you knew who's playing.
I love this. I'm reading these notes and it goes, potential opt-outs. Kyle Monangai said discussions to play are still ongoing as of December 18th. Starting cornerback Robert Longerbeam looks like he might play based on one of his Instagram stories. These are the fucking notes I'm seeing right now on the goddamn game.
That's why
linebacker Tyreen Powell, it says same situation as Monangai. What does that even mean?
Girlfriend bought a ticket to Phoenix, so he's probably going to play. That's why she's going to come and watch him.
God damn it. How do we get this? How do we get to this stupid sport? Like, I love the sport, but how dumb can you get? How can you not think let's do a large playoff when you have this type of shit going on?
Right.
How can you not sit there and say we should just do a 32 team playoff? All right. And then we can do another 32 team playoff. Like Leach won at 64 and 64. The 64 losers play, right? I just think you do you do 32 and then you do an NIT, and we're all happy. And you put a bunch of money involved. This is ridiculous.
You can change the finals for these players. Clearly, the entire semester's academic schedule is to an extent catered around these players, and exceptions are made here and there so that they can play their sports. That's commonplace. That's standard practice. Why can't you tweak the start of the second semester to allow for these guys to enroll a little late and give them some leeway?
I thought the NIL could potentially save this if you put that in the contract, but apparently none of these people in the NIL give a shit about like the guaranteed rate bowl. So they're just like, have him play the season. Do we add this in there? No, he might flip and go to Kansas. Just who cares if we get that far in? We'll worry about it then.
But no, I think when there's so many question marks about the game and the spread 7, I think just take the points. So I agree. I'm gonna go Rutgers.
Patty, what are you doing here at the guaranteed pile of shit?
Well, here's the thing. I thought Kansas was the more impressive team all year. Their losses were to BYU or Kansas State rather. Get a hot Houston team on the road, Arizona State and Iowa State. All pretty darn respectable losses. Meanwhile, Rutgers got slapped around pretty bad in a few games, including a 5-touchdown loss against Wisconsin. But they actually had mostly good losses too. I just think that's too many points. So I guess I'll go Rutgers too.
I do think Kansas State was a better team, but I mean, the way the end of the year losing 3-4, they had high hopes for this year. So I think that 8-4 was disappointing. And are they really up for this game?
Yeah, I mean,
good question. Yeah, on the flip side of that, the fact that Rutgers finished pretty strong. They had 4 straight losses, but finished 3-1. So yeah, maybe the Golden Guido rally the troops down there in Piscataway, and they're ready to go for the bowl.
Take the 7. Next up, we're jumping over to the Ventures Bowl, 68 Ventures. This series does go back to 1974, surprisingly. Arkansas State, Bowling Green. Bowling Green's laying 7.5. Are they trying to bait you with that line, NC Nick? Because my first thought was this spread is way too large, but then I thought about it more and I go, who the fuck has Arkansas State beat this year?
Yeah.
Arkansas State got the phoniest season of all. They extended Butch Jones because they didn't play anybody. Their wins were Central Arkansas, Tulsa. They did beat Fluff Bothwell. That was an upset. But after that, Southern Miss, who was 1-11, Georgia State and ULM. I mean, it's magic.
What was Troy's record?
Troy was terrible.
Troy Tower. So
they're playing better towards the end of the year.
4-8. They were 4-8.
Still not a good win.
I mean, I'm going to lay it with Bowling Green here on a whim. Wait, let me just check the opt-out situation before I speak about that. Okay. So let me get. Nah, I don't know about that. I'll take the points because starting
is Harold Fannin Jr. playing? I think he is.
He said he'll play, but reports have also surfaced that he might not.
Because he's either going to go pro or possibly transfer. And if you don't know who he is, he's probably the second best tight end in the nation behind Tyler Warren. But it is Connor Bazelak is finishing up his 6th and final season as a college football quarterback.
He should apply for a 7th. Apply for a 7th.
I think Bowling Green's the better team, and I'm hoping Fannin plays, and I'm hoping Terry and Stewart, the running back, plays too. I think last time I saw they were both kind of question marks. But
can I ask you something though?
I'll be back in just a couple minutes, guys. I got a little neighbor duty. I'll be back in a few.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
Are you at all terrified? Are you at all terrified that Alex Walschlager, their starting right tackle, is now at Kentucky, and their starting left tackle, Billy Roberts, are not playing?
No, of course. I mean, your 2 tackles, the bookends, that could be a problem. But
I mean, that's Connor Bazelak. Your offensive line didn't like him much because they're leaving you high and dry.
Yeah. But that's why, I mean, people in the chat are saying it's a stay away game. Totally. I'm not betting this. Yeah, no way in hell.
I'll take Bowling Green though. And if I know Patty C, he fades Leffler and goes with Arkansas State.
You're probably right.
Moving along. We're not waiting for him because who gives a fuck? Patty C's opting out of these bowl games too. All right. Oklahoma is taking on Navy. I didn't even drag the Navy over to the middle.
Hold on. So what do you think his neighbor duty is? I mean, it better be a hot chick though.
Someone just knocked on his door and said, "Hey, can you show me your dick?" Right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the classic.
Someone needs to bar some sugar.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, you got any sugar? I'm locked. I don't even understand what could he possibly. He's helping someone break in, maybe. Oklahoma's against. As you could tell, I was so excited about this. I didn't even center the fucking script. Oklahoma and Navy in the Armed Forces Bowl does go back to 1965. Fort Worth, Texas. Oklahoma's laying 3. I'm going to lay the 3 because Navy just beat Army, and they start like this is just you got to fade Navy here. Oklahoma, lock it up. Actually, I'm going to lock it up because Navy is on cloud 9. What are you doing here?
I've got Navy. You know who doesn't opt out? Midshipmen. I think Navy cares. Oklahoma, they're going to have a new quarterback in town. They're going to have a new
Oklahoma
OC.
crowd, though, buddy.
Is the Oklahoma people really showing up for this game? Also, are they excited to play Navy?
Have you been to Oklahoma, buddy? They're going to this game.
You're probably right. But I just think, they're getting excited about the what's his name again? John Mateer, Arbuckle, and they don't care about this game. So I'm gonna go Navy.
Here's what I wonder is, Oklahoma fans complained about their talent. They said they had no talent this year, right? And I'm looking at the opt-outs and it's like, well, starting quarterback Jackson Arnold is now at Auburn. Starting wide receiver Brennan Thompson is now at Mississippi State. They lose Farouk to the portal and Hester at the wide receiver spots. Tight end Bauer Sharp goes to LSU.
Yeah, Right.
Your center Josh Bates goes to SMU, right? Your cornerback Walker goes to Arkansas. McCullough goes to their linebacker, starting linebacker goes to Nebraska. Another offensive lineman goes to Washington, and a few other guys in the portal too that have. And it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe you were pretty talented and you just sucked.
Yeah, a lot of those guys were in demand, but that's why also there's a new offensive coordinator coming to town too.
Yeah, the best part about all this is Navy has no opt-outs. It's fucking gorgeous. It's fucking gorgeous.
That's why I'm taking them.
Patty C would probably take Oklahoma if I had to guess. TMZ Patty, Hasty, if you DM me on at the Colby D on Twitter, I'll send you the link.
Now it just looks like Patty C passed away, and this is like, in memory of Patty C, we have his chair on the podcast.
and I think that's supposed to be a flag, but it's probably like a towel that he took from the facility of JMU there in the background. Next up, let's jump on over to Georgia Tech. This is an old school SEC rivalry.
Yeah, that's right.
Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt. I actually am excited about this because the series they've been playing for a long fucking time. The Birmingham Bowl, and you know who doesn't opt out? NC Nick
Pissing Pavia. It's also
goddamn right.
It's also not his last game. If it was his last game, I'd like Vandy that much more.
Yeah, Pissing Pavia doesn't opt out. All right. Georgia is gone. Romello Height is now at who played great all year, is now at Texas Tech. Third string quarterback Zach Byron is at Minnesota. They also lost left tackle Corey Robinson and safety Tay Seymour to Auburn. Vanderbilt lost their starting offensive tackle to Florida State. Gunnar Hansen. Never liked the Hansen brothers anyway. All right. Eli Stowers is one to watch. He's could be opting out for the NFL draft. Same with DeRicky Wright, the safety, but no reporting on that. This is actually, I think, one of the best bowl games.
It's actually a pretty fun game. Yeah. I like both quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks are gamers. I am a little worried about Singleton leaving and the left tackle for Georgia Tech, but it sounds like Vanderbilt lost a couple players also. I'm also worried about the secondary. If you go back to that Georgia game, Georgia Tech, like 3 or 4 DBs got hurt. It's been tough to try to get an update on their availability. I'm gonna go Vandy getting points.
I'm going Vandy too, but not a ton of strong conviction with that.
No, I still find it hard to bet. I mean, I have some bets coming, but the way bowl games are now, we'll probably sprinkle a few bucks on some of these games. The day
of
the
holidays, you're having the alcoholic eggnog. You're singing fucking jingle bells. You start betting on shit. You got no idea what's going on. All right. Well, look, folks, before we get to the next game, what I tell you, the college football experience is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie has been running on SGPN for years. Check out their new and improved website. It's great on mobile. Plus, they have props for every game, and the live dealer casino is always a blast. Head over to MyBookie.ag, promo code TCE for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Once again, promo code TCE. They're also going to give you a $10 casino chip to get your beak wet. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code TCE. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, props. You can copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or you can build your own. You could track the props in the Rhythm app too now, which is great. They got college hoops, they got college football, they got NBA, NFL, they got it all at Rhythms. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back, and if I had to bet, Patty C is.
I thought by now he would be done. I mean, 2-minute Patty C. Come on now.
Maybe he's eating a burrito with her.
Eating something.
Texas Tech. This one's awesome too, because this is an old Southwest Conference rivalry. Texas Tech. You know that was their logo back in the day.
pretty fire.
I was
it's definitely a little Yosemite Sam there, right? But
but I was going through some old logos in the 1940s, and I was like, damn, Texas Tech had that. This is the Liberty Bowl, great stadium. Arkansas is laying 1.5. Pulled pork Pittman.
Sorry, getting a little trouble there.
What happened?
he looks more relaxed.
Yeah. What happened there, huh? Plowtown, huh?
Nah, maybe that's potentially on the table. So you got to take these moments while you can.
Okay.
See that?
I figured.
He said, fuck these bowl games. I got no idea who's playing. Right?
I'm just being a good neighbor.
Doing some plumbing. Huh?
Scale of 1 to 10, Patty. See, what is she?
Solid. Oh, hold on. This conversation has to wait.
She wants round 2 already. Jeez.
Yeah.
Hope he's ready.
You tell her you do an amazing college football podcast
Live.
Unbelievable. This is perfect for this episode though.
Really.
Where so many players have opted out. It's completely perfect for this episode.
I'm gonna say 7.5. Solid.
There we go. Whoa. That
Well,
Veronica
then I don't blame you.
That Veronica Vaughn. So Texas Tech lost what? They're starting wideout Micah Hudson to A&M. Josh Kelly is opting out. Taj Brooks is a potential opt-out, whatever that means. Arkansas lost a bunch of guys too. I don't know. Give me Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech's a better football team than Arkansas this year. So I will take Texas. Now it is closer. Like if you've been to Memphis, you're like 10 feet away from Arkansas. So this will be an Arkansas crowd. But give me Memphis. I'm sorry. Give me Texas Tech to get it done. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Come on, you know who I'm betting on here. This is my first lock of the show. How many locks? How many weeks in a row have I bet and locked up Texas Tech? It's gonna be another. You damn straight, dude. Texas Tech has won 3 straight bowl games, and they've all been blowouts. They whipped Mississippi State in 2021. Mike Leach, Mississippi State. The next year they whipped Ole Miss. Last year
at the Liberty Bowl, by the way.
Yeah, last year they whipped Cal. Texas Tech comes to play in bowl games. They're gonna beat Arkansas here. Lock it up. I'm
with you, actually. Let's go. Double lock on the Red Raiders. Rob Donaldson giving you $50 for date money, Patty C. All right.
Appreciate
you.
Get
on over there. Look at Rob doing you a solid. 'Tis the season, right? It's the season of perpetual hope, right? Yeah. Isn't that what they say?
Need as much of that as I can get. Let me say this. I agree with you guys and triple lock that bad boy. And Texas Tech as a program just seems to have a lot of momentum. Haven't they been dominating?
Have you
portal?
seen? Well, they have some big donors. I think they saw SMU and they said, "Hey, the fuck are we doing?" Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is great for the sport. Anyway, triple lock.
They do have a common opponent too. Granted, it was an eternity apart, but Arkansas lost to Oklahoma State. Texas Tech obviously beat them. Neither one was a blowout, 8-point margin on, I believe, on both sides. But that does lend itself to say that Texas Tech is the better team, which I think is the consensus. I'm actually surprised Arkansas is a favorite, right?
Well, it'll obviously be an Arkansas home game. That's like Memphis is literally, you can skip rocks to fucking Arkansas there. Ryan Hassey saying tuck job approved. Yeah, and see, Nick, isn't that what's great too? Is like you feel like with this changing landscape, whether it's SMU raising all that money, which I'm sure they're only going to throw more money in, you got North Carolina committing all the money, right? I know Colorado has gotten some investments more than way more than they used to based off their success. Boise, I got a crazy donation. Virginia, UVA, Texas Tech, Cal, Cal Berkeley. I've heard Cal Berkeley. Cal Berkeley got some money. You see what happens? I'm already proven right in my opinion.
Everyone's coming up in the game. Yeah.
Because now they have access.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Access is everything. And I'm not talking about cable access to that old porn channel Patty C was scrambling at back in 96. All right. Holiday Bowl, San Diego, California. This game sucks now. With Dickert there, with Mateer, I was actually excited about this. I do love Fran Brown and Syracuse players not opting out for the most part. I know Fran Brown is well, you still have for Washington State, good God, their whole team is gone. Their whole team is gone. For Syracuse, I'm just seeing 4 guys that were transfer portal guys. Starting corner Jaden Bellamy being the big one, but Kyle McCord going to play. It seems like everyone else is going to play, and I will lay the 16.5 with Syracuse. It's what sucks. They should be playing this at Petco. Instead, they're playing it at the Snapper. You think you can just walk into the Snapper? Series goes back to 1979. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, this is kind of like the Florida Tulane game where I got cute and went Tulane, and Tulane was like hanging around and covering for 3.5 quarters, I think, but Florida finally pulled away and covered themselves. So I'm not gonna do it this time. I'm gonna go Syracuse.
Patty?
I mean, it's such a humongous spread, but the fact that Wazoo obviously lost their last 3, that was before losing Mateer, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, I mean, he just hit the portal recently, but was he playing in those last few games?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I will say he just barely beat out Zevi Eckhouse to be the starter this offseason. So
I think it's Zevi.
Whatever. Zevi, Levi.
Who was a Bryant Bulldog transfer. I watched him in the FCS. Yeah.
He still might be a player. He might still be able to do things.
I think the big problem is everybody else too.
Yeah. I know the star running back's gone also.
The offensive lineman, that's one of the highest touted offensive linemen in the portal right now, is gone too. It's like a Polynesian name, so I can never remember it.
Fran Brown is like maybe over a 2-year stretch should win coach of the year, because what he's doing there, if he continues to have that program going in the right direction,
they threw money in too, though.
Yeah. I mean, this year though, I mean, obviously McCord, I guess that's probably why they got a lot of.
They brought in a bunch of Georgia players with Fran Brown, and they had to pay him.
But only a 2-point loss against Stanford, a 6-point loss at Boston College.
Stanford kept them out of the goddamn ACC championship.
Yeah, Houston's a program on the rise. It's a lot of points, but I think they get it. I don't know. I don't feel great about it though. It's so many points.
Why don't you take old Rebecca down to San Diego to the Snapper? Hey, you should ask her. Hey, you want to go to the Snapper? I know. I know a great game going on at the Snapper. All right.
We got like a office space kind of situation with the wall here, especially because they did a repair, and I don't think they actually patched the wall.
That wall is it. You're right, and that is accurate. That wall, you can hear. If you're like, oh fuck you, like you hear that three apartments over. Texas A&M is in Vegas. Take it on USC. Look, if you're going to put the sun in your logo, you can't play the game at a fucking dome. All right.
That's a good point.
You fucking losers. Las Vegas Bowl. This should be at Sam Boyd, much better stadium. Instead, it's at Allegiance bullshit. A&M's laying 3. Dude, everyone transferred out of USC. I will take A&M to get it done. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
Yeah, this is my next lock. I mean, Elko over Riley, with a month to prepare. And one of the things I'm looking at in these bowl games are young.
I'll lock this. I'm locking it too.
I'm looking at young freshman quarterbacks like Marcel Reed, who now have a month to to get better, to improve, to practice more. Because I mean, during the year, it's tough to practice that much. So I think a big game for Marcel Reed is loading here. I think A&M is going to win this. Lock it up.
Lock it up. USC's, yeah. Obviously, Miller Moss is at Louisville. Zachariah Branch might be going to Arizona State. I've also heard rumblings at Colorado. I don't know. Patty C, what are you doing in Vegas here?
Well, Maivia, I was at the USC's last game. Threw for 366, 3 touchdowns against Notre Dame. Maybe they upgraded at quarterback before the season even ended. I'm going the opposite direction of you guys. I think USC is the exact type of team that just has the talent to hang with A&M. And while you're right, while Lincoln Riley is probably a little bit better of a coach, X's and O's wise, than Brian Kelly, and Mike Elko probably a little better than Lincoln Riley potentially, and preparation wise. I just feel like USC as a program still has that edge, especially in Las Vegas, which was where they started the season with the win over a similar team in LSU to A&M, who I think actually
A&M did beat LSU. How's that for a tuck job?
Hello,
right.
Okay. So they both beat them. That doesn't necessarily mean one's better than the other, but I just feel like USC, especially getting 3 there, I'll take the Trojans.
Patty C, can you save your next tux job for the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl coming up?
Oh man,
Nashville's changed, man. Nashville's changed. Right? Shout out to Go Beebs. He says, how is Riley not on the hot seat? I think he is, but his buyout's $88 million. So I think they're going to wait at least one more year to drop that thing a little bit.
Next year is going to be huge.
Yeah. Now we're talking. Now this is my favorite one so far because it's at Fenway. You know, the Red Sox Stadium, Fenway Park. Carolina's laying 3 against UConn, the reigning 2020 national champs. This is awesome because you got to think Belichick's going to be there. Him and Bill and Steve. They're gonna go to that Cheers bar right before the game. Scout this roster. Freddie Kitchens is coming back. He's the interim head coach. He's on Belichick's staff next year. Series goes back to 1990, and I love when they play at these great low. Look, if you're going to give us bullshit bowl games with like 90 players out, coaches out, at least play at these historic college football venues. So I think the game at Fenway is a win. But I got UConn winning this game. Give me UConn. I don't know actually. UConn's getting rated into the portal. Give me Carolina. Give me Carolina. I think the momentum behind the program is everything. So I will lay the 3. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
You're telling me. So I mean, the good thing about bowl games is it offered me one more chance to bet Texas Tech, and it's also going to offer me one more chance to bet against UNC. The only thing I'm concerned about, I think UConn is going to have the crowd. I just want to double check and make sure they don't have a basketball game the same day.
Well,
if do they on Saturday, December 28th? Let me look that up real quick.
No, I'm just saying they have a lot of guys though that.
Whatever. Who wants to be in this game? Do you think North Carolina wants to go up to Fenway right now?
This is a showcase for Belichick, who's got a bunch of Super Bowls.
I will lock battle you. Pending if they don't have a basketball game, because I think that's going to matter. I think they'll have a decent crowd if they don't. If the fans can focus on football. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Patty, see who you got.
Have these teams ever played in a basketball national championship against each other or in the Final Four?
Oh, I think maybe
feel like
the
they
Final
have
Four.
to have.
Yeah. Maybe the Elite 8. Maybe
I remember the UNC Villanova championship game. That was pretty sweet.
That was a great one. Watched that I was watching that in Newark Airport.
Dude, I was at
Airport. Yeah.
You ever want a fun situation? Watch a close game at a gym. I was at the gym and everyone's got their headphones in and it's dead silent and it's just working out. And then all of a sudden the guy hits the game-winning 3. The whole gym goes, wow! Anyone who wasn't watching the game thought it was a terrorist attack was happening.
I didn't think he was gonna say gym. I was wondering what he was gonna say. Like gym
strip club.
Ryan Hasty says UConn does not play basketball on the 28th.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Just checking myself. That's it. I'm blocking up UConn. Battle, Colby.
Now we got a problem. Now we got a problem.
We got a battle at Fenway. Dundee on Carolina. And the Belichicks. Who will have the crowd because it's Belichick, baby. Let's see Nick on these UConn Huskies. Patty, see, what are you doing here?
Well, my only trepidation is that UConn is 0-3 against the ACC so far. They have 2 common opponents. North Carolina did end up losing against Duke. Granted, those were all 1-possession losses for UConn, so it's not like they're getting blown out by ACC competition. But North Carolina also lost one of those, but they also won. But they won that game by 1 possession. I actually think that the evidence shows that this is a pretty close matchup. And the fact that UConn finished a lot stronger, they didn't lose their coach. I think
they didn't lose their coach. They just lost their team.
Yeah. True. Still in Boston, give me UConn.
Shout out to my guy Daniel Cady. The baseball stadiums are great. He loves this game. That's what I'm talking about. They should do more of these. In my opinion, they should play a regular season game every single year at a legend. Like each conference should. Like you have Wrigley.
I just hate how the stands are, though. The stands are so far back because it's not shaped for a football field.
No, but there's historic venues. It's just perfect. It's perfect.
Someone needs to design a football / baseball stadium around baseball or around football. Make the baseball
But I want
accommodate
Put the
football.
dirt there. Put the dirt there. I love the fucking dirt, especially when it gets a little misty. Remember that? NC Nick remembers this. Mark Jackson, the old Broncos receiver, in it was like the 1980s on an NFL Films video. He has to flip into the end zone and he goes straight into the mud.
Yeah.
And it's raining. And
all the old Raiders games in Oakland.
Oh yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
Larry Zonka's got some shit down there in Miami too. I don't even know how. They didn't even have a baseball team back then, right? But yeah. Anyway, love this game. What do you? Who'd you take, Patty C?
UConn.
Yeah. Next up, let's stay in these baseball stadiums because we got Yankee Stadium, which actually I know this isn't the same Yankee Stadium, but it's on the same grounds, right? So Yankee Stadium, you cannot tell the history of college football without Yankee Stadium. It is huge as far as key games for decades and decades and decades. Boston College is in the Bronx. Love that movie, Rumble in the Bronx. Take it on Nebraska.
A Bronx Tale is better than Rumble in the Bronx.
Ooh, I disagree. Bronx Tale, kind of cheesy. Well, Rumble in the Bronx is one of the worst movies ever made, but for entertainment value, a lot.
I was about to say, Bronx Tale is a great movie, but Rumble in the Bronx, to me, is like Commando. You could watch that over and over. Yeah. and just the fact that Jackie Chan does his own stunts, it adds an element. Dude, the guy jumps off a fucking balcony of an apartment to another balcony.
Yeah. Breaks his foot and does the rest of the movie on a broken foot.
And then with a broken foot jumps off a fucking hovercraft into a Lamborghini. The guy, dude, he might be better than Diego Pavi. I'm just saying. He might be better than Diego Pavi.
Jackie Chan would have been a 5-star. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we need that lab. I know me and Terrell was making the case that during COVID, it was all a hoax and we were just in a lab creating white running backs, right? He was like, dude, you guys have been doing it. I don't know what the hell's going on. There's white running backs everywhere. They're all showing up. I didn't see this coming. And I go, we need this with the cornerbacks. Well, we need to be doing this with Jackie Chan because he's like 70. We need more Jackie Chan. All right. We need more of these people that can jump off crazy shit and punch you in the face at the same time.
Yeah. And also at the same time, Chuck Norris isn't getting any younger either. We need a new American version.
We already lost Burt Reynolds. He didn't. Damn it! He didn't freeze himself like Walt Disney. All right.
We needed Arnold. That's what The Rock was supposed to be, and then he turned into a freaking pussy.
Yeah, I agree. The Rock, no, not even close to that level. Now I will say, I was talking with the bet detective CJ Sullivan, host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. That prick bastard went to Burt Reynolds' estate sale. He bought a few items, but he goes, I'll be honest, he goes, everything was really fucking expensive, but he bought a few items.
That's awesome.
From Burt Reynolds' estate sale. All right.
That's great.
So he's clearly dominating at life. The bet detective. Boston College, Nebraska, they've never played. So why not play it at legendary Yankee Stadium? I put Texas minus 11.5. That line's not accurate. What is this line?
-3. Or -2.5, maybe.
2.5 Nebraska. Yeah.
I'll take Boston College. They're going to have that crowd. That crowd.
Will they?
I don't know. Actually, Nebraska fans might say, let's go to New York City. Get something.
I think Nebraska's happy to be at a bowl game for the first time in like a decade.
That's true.
Right?
I'm taking Bill O'Brien's got that momentum though at Boston College, man.
I'm gonna lean back into my, freshman QBs are gonna get better over these 3 or 4 weeks off, and that's gonna be Dylan Raiola and Nebraska. So Lay the 2.5 with the Huskers.
Patty C, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Where did Castellanos? Has he landed anywhere yet?
Florida State.
Florida State.
He's their next starting quarterback because DJU went pro. He had another year of eligibility. And he said, "You know what? I had such a great year this year. Let me test the waters in the NFL."
Just when I didn't think, Florida State's 2-10 could be any funnier. Then we hear DJU's going pro. Like,
who is this agent? Do you realize that college quarterbacks make more than NFL rookie quarterbacks? Like,
well, I mean, yes, and he ain't gonna be in the NFL. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what? This is one of the most idiotic things I've ever heard in my life. You could start and make $1 million starting for. It's not gonna be Florida State, but someone.
He'd have to level down. He'd have to level down. But
well,
he
went 11-2 at Oregon, or 10-2 at Oregon State. Like, someone would take you. I even think a Power 5 would take you. I think
he could still make 6 figures, right? Maybe.
Definitely,
yeah.
Dude. I guarantee you a quarterback guru would be, dude, to be honest, Michigan State might.
What's the NFL minimum? Because let's figure this guy's not making it past his rookie
He's
contract.
not even getting drafted.
He might be on a roster.
What's
so
the
he's
UFL minimum?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
50 grand if it makes it past week 6.
Yeah. Terrible agent work there. Yeah, you guys are probably right. Nebraska 2.5.
I'm on BC, buddy. I'm on fucking BC. Yeah.
Wait, I thought you just said,
I'm on Nebraska.
you're on. Well, I'm with Nick then. I think Raiola's probably taking advantage of the few weeks of preparation. And but Boston College was pretty good. How did they both finish the season?
I think Patty C still has the neighbor on his mind. I think he's distracted.
Wait, 3 of 4 for Boston College.
He's trying to give us a tuck job, and he's like, "I wonder if she's wearing blue panties." He's like,
knocks. When I say knockers, I mean knockers. 5 of 6.
Patty C's old school. He's a tip guy.
Hey, I'll take whatever I can get. Let's be honest. 5 losses in their last 6 games for Nebraska, and Boston College wins 3 of their last 4. Maybe you're right, Colby, but I'm with Nick. I'm still going Nebraska.
all right, let's go to Albuquerque. I met this guy actually who hosts this game, Mountain West Media Days. He was there. I have his card in my wallet somewhere in the planet. I don't know. Maybe I left it in LA. Maybe it's at Patty C's house. Louisiana is heading into Albuquerque to the New Mexico Bowl. TCU is laying 13. Now, let me just check on this situation here. Their starting wideout Harvey Broussard is now at Houston for Louisiana. Their starting tight end Terrence Carter's at Texas Tech.
He was a baller too.
But Jack Besh is doing his Besh pussy impression and opting out. Wide receiver Savion Williams is also opting out. JoJo Early's in the portal. Starting center James Brockermeyer's in the portal. Cam Cook's in the portal. Dominic Johnson's in the portal. I'm gonna lay it. No bet. Laying it. Nick, what are you doing here?
No, for me, it's motivation. Yeah, who's motivated to play this game? I look at TCU. They're only a couple years removed from a national championship game. Are they excited to go down to the ABQ for the New Mexico Bowl and play a Sun Belt team?
They are. They're trying to have some of that green chili.
Raging Cajun.
New Mexico food, by the way, underrated for the state for America. I would say a lot of people. You think Louisiana for food. You think New York City, Chicago.
Maybe you think Fort Worth for a steak. I mean, these 2 schools right here.
All right, Albuquerque.
Yeah,
it might have some meth, but they have some nice restaurants. All right.
Oh man, Primo. I feel like you're gonna get Primo chips and salsa at any New Mexico style restaurant.
I was somewhere in Albuquerque and I went to like by accident. I didn't seek it out. Our cab driver just said, "Hey, you go to this classic cafe or whatever." Dude, I went to a place. It looked like it was been there for like 300 years. New Mexico's got that crazy history. Isn't Santa Fe the first city in America? It just wasn't America at the time.
It's old. It's like a mission, right? Yeah.
It just wasn't America at the time, I think.
Yeah.
But they have this history. I feel like you go to Arizona, there's nothing historic. It's like, you had something 50 years ago or 70 years ago. We're like, you
Santa Fe's like what Hotel California is probably actually about. Just like mysterious, like little place.
It's got though restaurants that are like older than like they're old as shit. Some of the older restaurants. Anyway,
so you tell me the chicken quesadillas are really good.
I believe it's called quesadilla where we're from. I'm laying it with TCU. NC Nick's taking the points. Patty C, what are you doing here?
I think I'm taking the points too. I'm right with you, Nick. Or frequently here.
All right.
Next up, I'm actually excited to watch this one. Iowa State and Matt Campbell taking on Miami, the Hurricanes, and Mario Cristobal. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, the trophy. Have you seen this trophy going around the internet? It's fantastic.
Actual toaster.
Yeah, it's you plug it in, it shoots out a fucking Pop-Tart. Miami's laying 3. It's in Orlando. Cannabis capper. Okay. St. Augustine is the oldest city in the U.S. Spanish port, which makes some sense.
Look at the chat coming through. Look at
I believe though
on the chat.
Nice.
Cannabis capper. Someone do a search on this. I believe Santa Fe has, maybe is it the oldest train station or the oldest church or something they have is the oldest thing in America.
If
maybe
St.
it's
Augustine's the oldest city, then they probably have the oldest church also.
Yeah. No, but I've been
Wasn't
there,
it,
man.
what,
Like they touted this to me. I went on like a tour over there, and they were telling me this. Like this is the oldest thing in America. It just wasn't American at the time. I don't know. I'm hosting a show right now, guys. But I'll tell you this: Cam Ward's playing. Guess who's not a bitch? Cam Ward. Cam Ward. Thank you. Now the problem is Xavier Restrepo, the receiver, says he's not sure. Come on.
I think Horton transferred out too, right?
Yeah, he did to Bama, right?
They got receivers though.
Dude, why not just play football? You get a chance to play football. I don't know. I will never understand this.
Wait, what's the status with Restrepo?
He says he's not sure.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It's kind of like that broad next door. She's not.
Yeah, I think she knows. Right? We're working on that part.
Idaho State has. This is great, man! Shout out to Jalen Knowles. Says he's going to play. This is a bowl game. I think it's worthy. I think this is they have this. It seems like most of the guys are playing in this game. I'm on Iowa State plus the 3. I think Matt Campbell is going to outcoach Mario Cristobal. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
No, I completely agree. I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a lot of passing yards, a lot of points. Tough one. I'm gonna go with Miami in Florida though.
Patty?
Once again, I jump on board with Nick. We got a glimpse of Iowa State against playoff caliber, which I think Miami is competition. And it wasn't pretty, 45-19. Granted, Miami lost 2 of their last 3, but again, they lost to Georgia Tech by 5.
Who Iowa State's better than?
Potentially, but on the road. And look, Georgia, that Georgia Tech team took Georgia to 8 overtime. So maybe that Georgia Tech team at the end of the year was playing on a different level of football than they probably are getting credit for their entire season. And then a 1 point lead they blew against Syracuse on the road. And lost by 4. Other than that, undefeated. I just think Miami's a much better team. I think you're right. Obviously, there couldn't be 2 more polar opposite coaches in terms of quality between Matt Campbell doing more with less and Mario Cristobal doing less with more. But still, I just think Miami's that much more talented, and the home edge probably. I think Miami's probably a little motivated to show out here. They got snubbed, and I think they probably want to prove something.
Shout out to Stephen A. Cyclones and the over. Look at his default photo there.
Techno Bowl.
There we go. That's
Nice.
a winner in life.
That over that total 65.5. I like the over also.
There we go. Next up, we got the Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice Arizona Bowl. What's your opinion of gin and juice, NC Nick?
I don't know if I've ever mixed gin with juice. It doesn't seem like
you haven't lived.
It doesn't seem like a natural fit.
It's gin and orange juice, which I think you're supposed to do. Gin and orange juice. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Patty C.
not a big gin guy in general. Gin is my least favorite liquor.
Now you're just offending me. Now you're just
Yeah.
Colby
is an alcohol snob. Gin tastes like a pine cone, and we're all supposed to fucking like it. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, Patty C's classic TMZ Patty C. You saw it with his Miami pick. All right. And he's the type of guy that walks into sometimes there's liquors out there that you say, why would anyone buy this? And then you're like, well, Patty C's out there. He sees
Parrot Bay.
Hey, last time I checked, this is the college football experience. This is not the fucking 65-year-old football experience. Okay,
I can taste the coconut in this rum.
Well, Belichick just got hired. It is the 65-year-old college experience.
The 72-year-old football experience.
Yeah. Miami, Ohio is in Tucson. I actually heard Colorado State sold out their tickets for this. So that's all I need. Give me Colorado State in Tucson. NC Nick?
I took Miami of Ohio. I think Colorado State's been phony all year. I mean, I kind of agree. Like you could say like the Mountain West is better than the MAC, and that's your play. But Mountain West maybe a little down this year, other than Boise. Last game for Gabbert. I'm gonna go Miami of Ohio.
He's going with his MAC boys. Always repping his MAC boys. Patty C, what are you doing here?
This is a really close game. So what's the spread on this one? We're sitting at 3.
We got Cannabis Gabber saying I would rank rum as my least favorite, but Go Beef says he lives in Tucson and every bar down here is stocked with gin and juice from Snoop Dogg.
Wait, so it's gin and I don't think I've ever had.
It's like a pre-made
gin and juice.
Those pre-made stuff. That's probably
they're trash.
Right? Yeah.
But if you're gonna do it, like to me, if you're looking to dabble in gin, just get Hendrick's gin, pour that shit on the rocks. All right, cut a cucumber, put it around the rim, boom, drop it in. Thank me later.
Also, what you could do is go to your local pine tree, pull off a pine cone, and chew
put it
on
in your
it,
asshole, and then dip it in your drink.
Okay, yeah, pretty much. That said, I don't know. This is a really tough one. 3 points is too many points for Miami to be favored on a long road trip for them. Colorado State a lot closer to home. And like Colby said, maybe Colorado State's excited if they're selling out their bowl tickets. Give me the Rams.
Yeah. And pre-made cocktails are trash. I do agree.
Yeah.
Someone got me like the margaritas. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
I still drank them though, because that's what we do. That's what we do. We got me and Patty C ramming it with Colorado State. All right, next up.
There we go.
Finally, we got a game. We finally got a game. And guess what? We get this to open the season next year. East Carolina taking on the Pussy Pack in Annapolis, Maryland at Navy Stadium. East Carolina does have, obviously, their star corner that was a projected first round pick is out for the year, with a torn ACL. But Winston Wright is unknown if he's playing their wideout. Chase Soul, though, transferred to Iowa State, and defensive lineman CJ Mims transferred to Bill Belichick in North Carolina. You coward. NC State, KC Conception, I know just went on a trip to Colorado. Hasn't signed yet, but Red Hibbler on the defensive end. He's at Mississippi State now. David Vaughn is opting out. Left tackle Anthony Belton is opting out. Right guard Tim McKay could be opting out. They also lost their defensive
prefacing an ECU loss. With excuses here.
No, that was NC State.
Oh, that was NC
just
State.
Yeah.
Concepcion. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I lost
ECU lost a ton though. They have a ton of transferring out.
But they're playing the Pussy Pack. And let me tell you.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina. You don't come to East Carolina. You don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
This is a smash play. Play it on the money line. Play it on the money line. I am so sick of this NC State trash. Lock it up. Number one lock of the bowl season.
Wow. I mean, with the exception of Charlotte, I would say most of ECU's losses are pretty respectable, right? I mean, Army, Navy, Liberty, and even App State in a game they had a lead in, right?
East Carolina's the best goddamn university. Vince McMahon, clearly a great human being.
Good luck with. All I gotta say is good luck with that new head coach. You guys will probably be looking for another in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
NC State has another freshman quarterback that had a nice second half of the season.
Oh, he'll be in the portal
for a breakout game, which is just going to lead right into a nice sophomore campaign. CJ Bailey's going to have a nice day. NC State's going to smash spot here, lock up.
Absolutely disrespectful. You look, we don't have that kicker that missed 3 extra points and a fucking 18-yard field goal. All right. So, Patty, I'll let you get in on this lock battle if you want, but what are you doing here?
Well, if you're a better, don't listen to my advice because Nick's is probably on to something. But on principle alone, we're going ECU, baby. So play that music one more time.
Let's go.
Oh, we got a problem. Now we got a problem.
We got a little lock battle.
I like how Colby.
Let's go. Pussy pack bullshit.
I like how Colby has swayed and brainwashed all of TCE except for me. I'm not fucking buying. NC State's going to whoop that ass.
Talk to me when NC State starts making classics like this.
Baby making music.
That's what I'm saying. Pussy pack bullshit. Next up, same day you get both my boys, but this is at that filthy bullshit. Stop playing this.
Wait, I got to go get a certain piece of paraphernalia that a great player once played in at this exact venue. So, 1 second.
Is he going to visit the neighbor again?
Yeah, what is he going to get her bra? He's gonna grab her bra and say, "Hey, she once played in the band at UTSA." Okay, the suspense is killing us. Oh, he's got a David Robinson pennant. Hey, can you focus on his socks? I want to see if they had. Did they have
rolled up socks? They might.
They did. Holy shit!
The level of detail.
Yeah, accuracy.
That's all we ask is you do your job, you do it well. And clearly that guy was. YouTube.com/the college experience. BYU, Colorado playing in a huge bowl game, but they're in the same conference. I thought they couldn't do that. Colorado's laying 5. Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, everybody playing. This game is pretty intriguing to me because Deion Sanders said he expects everybody to play on Colorado's roster. Not enough. Not enough of the haters are talking about that, in my opinion. They hate on Deion all the time, but those same haters hate on bowl games. Deion's got his whole goddamn team playing.
Oh yeah.
All right. Can we talk real quick about why it is like reasonable to hate Deion Sanders? Okay. And yet reasonable to love Deion Sanders. And I love Deion Sanders far more than I hate him, right? Especially as he's gotten older.
I don't think it's reasonable to hate him now.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
It's like hating Shaq now. You know, Shaq it was a very similar player to me in terms of like influence on the game, in terms of quality of like player. At one point, MVP level. Deion Sanders, defensive MVP at one point. Their careers, I think they
didn't change the rules for Deion. They changed them for Shaq. That's what bothered me the most. It's like, we're gonna add a no charge zone.
Shaq was
so he can be more dominant
before 97, though. He was.
Yeah, but we did a deep dive on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The only reason why we hated Deion as a player was he was a cowboy.
Yeah. I never hated him on the Falcons or the Niners or the Ravens, the Redskins.
I hated him on the Niners. I hated the 49ers.
I like the Niners team. I like that Niners team.
I hated them. But I will say this. The fact that Deion Sanders jumped from one rival to another over and over, was
Wait,
that's
who
like
are-
Durant, you know.
Who
that's like,
were the rivals?
Cowboys,
well,
49ers, I guess.
Well, the Falcons were in the
Kinda.
NFC West against the Niners and couldn't get past them ever. You know, not that they were really close. He jumps to the 49ers and immediately jumps to the Cowboys, who they had played in like the last 3 NFC Championship games. That's a huge slap in the face of San Francisco.
But he wasn't there in the past 3 NFC Championship games.
Still, he came on board, became part of that team, and then immediately went to their number 1 rival and the only other team in the league that could beat them.
He was on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Is that where LeBron got it from?
Yeah, maybe that's where LeBron.
LeBron at least was on like a 4-year deal or something, like so it built up a little bit.
Dude,
Like
what
how
Deion did.
somehow we've intertwined David Robinson, LeBron James, and Shaq into BYU Colorado.
Well, I'm just trying to compare that. I don't think there's an NFL comparison about a dude that was that good. And Deion Sanders argue how important the defensive back was, but he was NFL MVP in 94 or defensive MVP in 94. He's the biggest marketable player in the whole league in 94. And then went to the arch rival who won the Super Bowl the next year. Like there's no comparison.
Think your angle for the arch rival is Cowboys to Redskins. I don't think it's.
Well, he went from the Cowboys to the Redskins.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
the Niners and the Cowboys.
It doesn't register as a big enough rivalry to me.
You are fucking wrong on that one. Plain and simple.
And then the other one is, with all due respect to the great Jerry Glanville, the Falcons were a shit show at the time.
I get
you
that
had,
more.
You had Jeff George walk off the field like in the middle of a game with June Jones. Yeah. It's like their coach had just got fired because he was spending too much time being a professional NASCAR driver, right? And you're just sitting
I'm not
there
really
saying,
blaming Deion for that. But the Cowboys and Niners pretty bad. Anyway, between that and essentially being LeVar Ball with the hyping of his sons as Heisman candidates, as the greatest players. I mean, he's not as bad as
hype Shiloh Sanders as a fucking Heisman candidate.
Not Shiloh, okay, but Shador. And I actually,
he should have been.
I agree with him. Yeah. But anyway, all that to say, I could see why Deion could catch a little heat. But there's also this part of Deion that's so charming, so fucking likable that it's hard to hate him. You know, I love Deion. So I don't know where that.
I'm actually on BYU in the points here, though.
I'm gonna go Buffs. I think Colorado's the better team, and the fact that this is Shadur's last game, Travis Hunter's last game, I think that matters, and they want to go out winners. I'm gonna go Buffs.
They win by 3 because I think BYU doesn't opt out either. They're like Navy, Nick.
Yeah, Kalani's pretty hardcore. I don't think he's gonna let his guys just cop out. But yeah, maybe Colby's right. If Colby's going against Colorado, then I'm with Colby.
Yeah, it's just a little too many points. Colorado wins 31-28. It's filthy at the Alamo Dome. Army said in the Independence Bowl, great historic bowl. Only problem is, why is Army playing Louisiana Tech? Oh, Marshall opted out. But why were they playing Marshall? Because the bowl system sucks. You have a team that went 11-1 in the regular season. They should be playing like Alabama or something. They should be playing, at least one of the teams in the top 25. Give them Missouri. Give them. This is why the bowl season sucks too. Is they have these it's built in. Michigan playing Alabama is bullshit. It should be some of the teams right on the outside. BYU should be playing Alabama. Colorado should be playing Alabama, or Miami, something like that. It's like you just took the remaining 10 best teams and said, let's just scatter them around college football. When you could have them play each other.
Yeah. This is a disgrace.
I'm on Army minus the 17.5 because they just lost. And I also think La Tech's rush defense, I think that La Tech's defense was a little bit improved, but I still don't think it's good.
They were 5-7 this year. So can you tell me if Bryson Daly? So he's listed as a senior. Is this his last game? I mean, you never know.
I believe so. Yeah.
Well, that's all the more reason to go Army. So give me the.
Although Udo is taking
Arizona State
railing lines at Arizona State right now.
Off of fake tits. Off of fake tits. Yeah.
Off of silicone tits.
Yeah, he went from West Point to Tempe. That's a big difference.
Yeah. By the way, people telling me I'm hating in the chat. Do you guys know I rocked the headband on my neck in high school and at JMU while I was in practice because gameplay wasn't happening at JMU. But prime time is one of my biggest idols of all time. So I'm not hating.
You never know.
Let's be honest.
When you need to get that hot sauce, you just dab it up.
Patty C also had a moment where he complained about having a threesome with like Deion. Do you guys remember that when Deion had the he was one day I felt terrible.
Yeah, the worst day of my life. I had
this threesome, and I was like, "What am I doing with my life?" Patty C had that same thing at JMU as well.
No,
that's what caused him to quit the team. That's what's really caused him to quit the team.
I had a few devils, but no legit ones. No good ones. All scarring ones.
I do want to say this. Like, just take the top 10 teams that don't. If you're gonna stick with this 12-team bullshit, and you're not going to 24 or 32 like you should, then take the top 10 remaining teams and have them play each other. Getting Army to play a 5-7 team is fucking garbage. All right. And getting Michigan to play getting Alabama to play Michigan is garbage. All right. All these things are garbage. Like Colorado, BYU, I guess makes sense because they were two of the 10 teams outside of it. But why couldn't you do more of that? But I'm laying it. Patty C, what are you doing here?
You got to lay it. I mean, based on what Army did all year against teams the quality of Louisiana Tech, Army destroyed them by 20 plus points. Do I think Louisiana Tech? It's a huge spread. The hook there is a little tempting, but no, I'll go Army. And I think you're right. I think the perception of Army might be a little hurt right now by the fact they lost to Navy, but you saw that coming from a mile away, and that's always what happens in that game.
Oh yeah.
So I think Army rebounds nicely here.
Iowa, Missouri series goes back to 1892, and they're playing in the Tranny Music City Bowl,
the Tuck Bowl.
Yeah, all different types of tucks.
This is your chance, Scotty. This is the Trans Perfect Bowl.
Yeah, give us that tuck job. Missouri's laying 3, and I disagree. Look, Ferentz goes to Nashville every year, I feel like.
The first thing I had to do with this game, I had to Google what Trans Perfect was to see what kind of company it was. I mean, who the hell knows? But it's actually it's a company that does like translations. So it's like language translations. So I didn't know what I was going to be searching there in Google when I typed in Trans Perfect Bowl.
Plastic surgeons with immaculate tuck jobs.
Yeah, Dolly Parton on the front there. What do you think of these logos, guys?
Fire.
Pretty fun.
Tiger. Yeah.
Which one's better?
I'm gonna say Missouri.
I'll say Iowa.
I was gonna say Iowa.
Guys, out for a nice stroll on Missouri. That's what I like. He's just casually like pimping.
I'm on Iowa though. I think Ferentz goes to this game often. He knows the lay of the land.
Of course, last year they lost 35-0 in Tennessee. But
the offense has changed. Their offense has changed.
I'll look past that. Burden's not playing for Missouri.
Yeah.
I do think, Drinkwitz is not as good of a coach, obviously. So I'll go Iowa.
Patty?
It appears there's no tucking to be done here, unfortunately. No common opponents. I think you have to go Iowa here. What's the deal with Iowa's quarterback? Got it. The old Michigan kid.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. They put him on a bus the second the season ended.
Also, Caleb Johnson's also not playing for Iowa.
Yeah, but they got another stud. They got guys.
Maybe give me Missouri.
Wow. Chalk that one up as an L. This stupid game here. Why is Michigan get to play Alabama if they're the first team out? This is what's stupid.
Well, it sounds like a nice big game. I mean, they did play last year in a pretty important game.
Sounds like bullshit. That game shouldn't have happened either. This game shouldn't have happened, and last year's game shouldn't have happened. Tampa, Florida. Michigan's catching 10.5. Series goes back to 1988. Give me the points. Give me the points. Nick?
No, I don't think so. I think people are thinking of Michigan because fondly because they beat Ohio State. Look at the rest of the 11 games. Michigan's like an average ass team. I'm gonna go Bama.
Michigan's the same team as Oklahoma. Great defense. Oklahoma whooped Bama.
That was in Norman.
Fair, but they won by 24 or whatever. Yeah, I'll take Michigan, but no bet. Nah. Patty?
Alabama is the better team just because Milroe. But
yes. I don't think any of us would think otherwise.
Yeah. 10.5 points is a lot though. Down in Tampa, do I think it matters? I mean, think about Michigan's losses. A close loss against Indiana. They did get annihilated by Oregon. The Washington game was a rematch. I guess I'm just making excuses here. The Illinois game was unforgivable. In Texas, they got whooped. I just think it's too many points. You know what? And guess what? Actually, based on last year, I guess I can't say money line because it's probably a bit of a revenge game for Alabama too. But still, too many points. Give me Michigan.
I thought you were going to lock it up for a second there.
I was thinking about it, but you know, the fact that Alabama probably still has a little, especially Milroe, probably has that chip on its shoulder. I'll take Alabama to win outright.
Louisville, my favorite bowl, the Sun Bowl, best stadium. They should play the national championship here.
What's with that husky?
It's great. He's had a few cocktails. He's had a few G&Ts.
Looked like he had a stroke, like right side.
He's had a few cocktails. Louisville, Washington. Louisville's laying 2.5 in El Paso, Texas.
That's fucking hilarious.
They should go back to that. I want that on the helmet.
Drunken mascots.
Everyone's not playing in this one. You know what? Give me Washington. I got no idea. Like you got so many opt-outs for this one, and like now Belichick's gone.
Both quarterbacks are gone. I'm gonna go with Brom though. So give me Louisville.
But isn't the backup gone too? We're looking at a third string, right?
Was it let me get it. Shuck 3,100 passing yards or 3,200. Bailey 63 passing yards and
but I thought he was gone.
But Bailey,
one of their backup transferred out too.
Pierce Clarkson, their third.
Brady Allen, quarterback for Louisville, transferred out. Is he their backup?
He didn't get any snaps.
No, but left too, dude.
Yeah, it's
either way. The two backups that got snaps this year had 8 and 4 attempts, respectively. So it's going to be a pretty big drop off in terms of production there. But I just think Brom will get it done. In Brom we trust.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'll change it. Pierce Clarkson's in the portal.
Wow. Okay. They don't have much left.
I'll take Brom too. I guess. I don't know. Don't bet that game.
Oh.
Next up, I'm locking this one. South Carolina is laying 9.5 in Orlando against the Illini.
I'm curious who you're locking.
Well, South Carolina did what? This is a good one because South Carolina has some potential opt-outs, but I don't think they've announced it yet. Illinois, I think, he expects everyone to play, Bielma said. I'm locking Illinois. I think Illinois plus 9.5 is the play. I think South Carolina, if you go back and watch that Clemson game, credit to them for making the plays. I got a little lucky in that game. I think they're not going to be super focused for this when season's over. I think the Illini feel disrespected with this line. So give me the Illini. Nick?
Kind of hard to fade the Cox and Lenore Sellers right now, especially down there in Florida. I think there's more speed, more athleticism on South Carolina, and they've just been rolling lately. I think they continue to roll here. South Carolina, lay it.
Patty?
I think Colby might be onto something here. South Carolina has been rolling, but Illinois' losses are low-key super respectable for the most part. Oregon, Penn State, yeah, they lost to Minnesota, which is not a terrible team either. Look, I mean, they don't. The thing about it is Illinois lost all the remotely challenging games on their schedule, but beat the shit out of pretty much everyone else. I don't know what you would consider Kansas early in the season. I don't think that's the same. I mean, they finished 5-7 Kansas, so that's kind of not an impressive win. South Carolina did pretty well against elite competition throughout the year. However, that's a lot of points. I'm going to go Illinois with you.
There we go. Okay. I'm locking that, by the way. Give me that. Give me the points. Everyone's going to be on South Carolina. Sprinkle the money line. Next up, what do you think of that old Illini logo? Should they go back to that?
I kind of like it.
It's honestly a little bit more offensive than the Cleveland Indians logo.
Yeah. No,
I mean, it's glorious. I love it. It's not offensive, but it's more cartoonish.
Yeah.
If you're offended by cartoonishness, then that's offensive.
LSU is in Houston, Texas, taking on Baylor. Series goes back to 1907. The Texas Bowl. Baylor's laying 1. The opt-out situation is Baylor's Stoquan Finn, who started some games. He's gone. But besides that, they had a couple guys at the portal. They're looking pretty good. But LSU on the other side, they've had a lot. But Garrett Nussmeier is going to play.
Huge. But
they've lost a ton of other guys. Kyron Lacey, Mason Taylor, Emory Jones, Will Campbell, Deshaun Womack, CJ Daniels. This is the hardest game in the entire slate.
This one's tough. I'm gonna go Baylor. They're also red hot coming into this, winners of 6 in a row. They keep that up. Let's go Baylor.
I'll take Baylor too, but no strong conviction to this one. Patty?
No. Any guess what the crowd will be? I'm guessing 50-50 down in Houston. Pretty much centrally located between the two schools. I don't know. You're right. LSU lost 3 of their last 5. They only beat Vandy and Oklahoma in that last 5 stretch, but 2 6-6 teams. Meanwhile, Baylor whooping ass against, I guess, 1 or 2 decent teams, Texas Tech and Kansas, completely destroyed both of them in that process. Still, I just feel like talent wins here. Give me LSU.
Penn State. Oh, we're done with the bowl games. Let's talk about these matchups real quick. Penn State, Boise. The Lions at 10.5 for the Nittany Lions in Glendale, Arizona, where once Boise did beat Oklahoma, Sam Bradford and Adrian Peterson in the Fiesta Bowl there. NC Nick, surprised at that line?
Not really. No, I think first off, let's mention that we're going to have a college football playoff pick show.
Next
Thursday or Friday or Saturday, something like that. So we're just going to quickly kind of go through maybe like first thoughts on these games, but I'm not
later in the week. Yeah.
I'm not necessarily surprised by the line. That SMU game, man, that like I was arguing with somebody on Twitter. I thought SMU, with the exception of the pick sixes, which is obviously huge, but
I thought their defense played great.
They were playing right. They were moving the ball better than Penn State's offense.
That's why I think SMU beats them if it's in Dallas. I really believe that.
Yeah. The other thing is
points with Boise. Come on.
Yeah, I'm all over it. Money line it, and lock it up. Lock Boise up. Well, I guess we're not making the picks yet.
Yeah, don't do the fucking show yet. I was gonna ask you guys because you got the lines dropped,
and I might back off that, but I just feel like that's a huge spread, and Penn State doesn't have home field advantage anymore.
Can we complain for a second though, because I can't help but notice. We have a huge bowl game in Arizona. We have a huge bowl game
that Arizona State should be in.
Yes. Yeah. And we also have a huge bowl game in Atlanta. My point is, we just saw how great it was on college campuses. You're basically playing half of the bullshit bowl games right next to these universities that are still in the field. You could be playing at the Sun Devil Stadium and between the hedges at Sanford Stadium.
But we have to honor these historic bowls that aren't being played at the same venues that they were historically played at.
And let me tell you, exactly. They don't even
Rose
have the same
Bowl's
venues.
One thing, right? Everyone else is.
And these historic bowl games that have had so many opt-outs over the past fucking decades, or past decade. But the 14 points for Cam Scattaboo in Arizona State there in Atlanta, the Peach Bowl. You also get the Rose Bowl, The only outdoor one, right? It's ridiculous. I feel disgusting just saying that. Are you surprised Ohio State's a favorite, NC Nick and Patty C?
I am a little surprised by that.
I think people just saw what Ohio State did to Tennessee, so not really. I mean, Oregon won by a point at home. So no, I'm not necessarily surprised by that line either.
Maybe not surprised, maybe not shocked, but would I favor Oregon? Yeah, I would.
And then you get the Sugar Bowl. Are you surprised that Georgia's a favorite there in New Orleans, NC Nick?
No, again, I'm not surprised. I mean, they were the higher seed, right? So neutral site, so you don't have to worry about that. Slight favorite in Georgia's direction. Makes sense.
Which game will be the closest of the four?
I mean, it's hard to not say one of the two spreads that's less than a field goal. I think maybe Ohio State, Oregon.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's going to be a great game. But I think all of them are going to be competitive, and that alone, I think, regardless of who wins, throws salt in the argument of like, the seeding was messed up. It's like, dude, I think we're gonna have 4 really good games. Hopefully, certainly can't be much worse than, knock on wood, than what we just watched. But yeah, I don't know. Regarding Georgia and Notre Dame, Georgia, I looked number 35 or 36 rush defense, and they only faced 2 teams with top 35 rush offenses, and those were Georgia Tech, who was like down at number 35, and Georgia Tech ran for 260 on them, and the other one was, who was it? A game they lost. No, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, Texas actually somehow they shut them down to under 31 yards in both games. Unbelievable. But I think Texas has like the number 63 rush offense. So that was a deceptive offensive performance by Texas against Clemson. So, we'll see what Georgia can do against Notre Dame's rushing attack. I'm interested in that.
Let me ask you this, Colby. Has your bracket changed after the first round of games? Because I still have Ohio State beating Oregon. I still have Texas beating Arizona State.
Yeah, I think my bracket's still fine.
Yeah,
now I think I had Indiana potentially beating Notre Dame, but I said the winner. I have, that I think they can move along past Georgia with the backup quarterback.
Oh, it wasn't Ole Miss that had a top 10 rush defense or offense. It was Tennessee, and Tennessee beat Georgia.
Patty's bracket is
Tennessee did not beat Georgia.
Wait, Tennessee didn't beat Georgia.
Wait,
Georgia beat Tennessee by like 14, I think, 14-17. Okay. Patty C's bracket hasn't busted because I think he had Indiana in the championship game, right?
Yeah, my bracket's done. Although, what else? Yeah, I guess I had Clemson over Texas. I did have Ohio State over Tennessee, obviously, and I did have Penn State over SMU. So, yeah, it's pretty much broken.
I want to give a special shout out to Ferris State, who won the D2 National Championship. Also, I want to give a special shout out to Grandview, who won the NAIA National Championship over Kaiser Permanente there in Durham, North Carolina. We saw this past weekend, John Hopkins fell short by 8 points to Mount Union, and Susquehanna lost by 66 to North Central. That sets up Mount Union and North Central D3 National Championship in Houston, Texas, outdoors at the Shell Energy Stadium. Thank God. That'll be on ESPN on Sunday, January 5th. I told you don't need the NFL. The NFL is fucking horrible. This is a much better game. Mount Union, North Central, NC Nick. We should save it for the pick show, but you excited? Who are you teetering to right now?
I don't teeter, but I think Mount Union is going to get it done.
I'm on Central. I think Central is...
Naperville, my old roommate, my old buddy Trev, Naperville
Alberts.
guy, Trev Alberts. He's giving me the insight on Naperville as a town. It is up and coming. It's a suburban upper middle class juggernaut of a program or of a location. So if they get behind that football team, look out.
How about that neighbor, Patty? See, where's she from?
Oh, she is from Fort Lauderdale, and she can hear me speaking right now.
Oh, so Kaiser lost. All right, Kaiser lost. Tell her that. All right, Seahawks down. What about this game? Monday, January 6th, I believe.
Fantastic.
Series goes back 100 and what? 110 years. North Dakota State, Montana State. This is an awesome game, and it's outdoors.
The line's going to be cool.
This is way better than it doesn't matter what the 12 team gives us. This is a better national championship than whatever they can give us.
What's your look ahead line? Montana State -4, Montana State -7.
I'd say -3.
-3.
What would you do?
If you're going to give me more than a field goal, I think Montana State wins, but I think it's close.
I'm on North Dakota State, buddy. I think North Dakota State. Honestly, I thought all year. Now Montana State's looked good to the second half of the season. I mean, they look good all year, but
yeah,
North Dakota State. I just thought, them bringing in what's his name, the Wyoming OC. I'm drawing a blank on the head coach's name right now, but I think he's better than. It's funny. Fresno hired Entz, who had left North Dakota State for USC, and I thought Entz had actually kind of had the program fall off some. Then they go get Craig Bull's OC, and you see how bad Wyoming is without him.
Yeah.
And you see how good North Dakota State looked, beating South Dakota State both times. I'm going to take the Bison to be on top of the FCS yet again. Patty C, I know we're going to talk about this in a couple days, and maybe we get an official line over under, but this matchup is just awesome.
It is amazing. A great quarterback matchup. Tommy Malotte's got a sweet arm throwing.
Such a baller, man.
He is a baller.
Cam Miller also underrated. 72.6, almost 73% completion percentage. These are two accurate quarterbacks.
Both these teams should be in the Mountain West. Or the Pac-12, whatever. One of them.
Yeah, these are two very good quarterbacks and two very good teams. They are easily the class of the FCS. And look, this is another thing where people have talked about, all you're going to do is let these teams, get into the championship. We are always in favor of the cream rising to the top. If Cinderella is the best team in college football, then that's the only time.
Let them prove it. Yeah.
Let them prove it. And we want to see them do it. And that's what's so special about it. But we don't want to see Cinderella luck up and get there, and we want a system that allows.
And so often you see, them luck up with, putting a blue blood in there that's not worthy of it in the 4 team that you'd say, and they keep Cinderella out on purpose. Yeah. And it's like, that's just not fair. It's not the American way. It's some communist shit. I don't like it.
I want to see these two FCS juggernauts go at it. This is amazing.
This is an
football.
Awesome game. It's outdoors, the way the game should be. 2 blue bloods, goes back over 100 years, rivals. Can't wait for it. Anyway, that's it. That's all we got. Give NC Nick a follow on Twitter at NC__NICK. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Please follow, but also like and subscribe. The race for 15K. We got to get there. It's not going to happen. The show's going to go off the airs. You're going to be watching fucking, I'm going to put on Human Centipede reruns with the occasional Police Academy 7 in Moscow.
Well, you're just improving our product. Don't threaten them with a good time.
And maybe Rumble in the Bronx. I don't know. But please hit that like and subscribe button. We see 38% not subscribed. You're watching the show. The numbers are telling us. So you're just lying to us. Check out the College Basketball Experience. I'll be live in about an hour talking college hoops. Shout out to Noah Beanick and Moneyline Mac. We've been holding it down over there. Also, the College Baseball Experience. Beanick's been breaking shit down. The FCS College Football Experience. Check that out as well. And don't forget to check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Till next time, folks, this is the College Football Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the cameras.
I said number 7.
We can really run and shoot. And you know what you're getting, cause the book's rewritten with the cameras.